Good morning, Universal Spirit Center. How y'all doing this morning? Oh, yeah. Let's give some love for the sounds of spirit. That's Matt on drums, Oliver on bass, and you will notice our sweet Linda is not here. This is Kevin on keys. Linda's taking a much-needed time and vacation for herself. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Come on, y'all. People, keep on learning. The teachers, keep on teaching. The world keeps on turning, but it won't be too long. Oh no. Hey. The powers keep on lying. Well, believers keep on believing. Teachers, I keep teaching, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. I'm so done that I got to die again. 'Cause the last time around I believed in 10. I'm so glad now, no more that I know that. Gonna keep on trying till we reach the higher ground. Woo! Oh yeah. Liars, they keep on lying, while the people keep on dying. The world keeps on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Dreamers, keep on dreaming, while believers keep on believing. Sleepers, stop your sleeping, 'cause it won't be long. Woo! Oh no. I'm so done that I had to try it again. 'Cause the last time around I believed in sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach the high. Let nothing bring you down. We're gonna reach it, reach it, reach it, reach it, reach it. The higher, 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 higher. Don't you let it bring you down till reach the higher ground. Don't let it bring you down. The sounds of spirit is in the house today, baby. I hope you're feeling it, feeling the love. So, with your cell phone, call somebody, text somebody, and tell them what a great time you're having at Universal Spirit Center. Tell them to bring their little self on down, and if they can't come down, come join us online. On YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, we will see you. So text them right now and tell them, join in on the good time as we get ready to stand and sing our congregational song. Something wonderful, baby, is happening to you and you and you. Oh, yeah. happening to me right here, right now. You still getting your phone out? Something wonderful. Ooh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. For all you Padre fans, you can feel it in your body. You can feel it in your soul. You can feel it in your heart. And you won't let go. Something wonderful. Oh, something wonderful is happening to you right here, right now. Sing it like you mean it. Something wonderful. Oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. 'Cause what? Oh, you can feel it in your body. Were you cheering? You can feel it in your soul. Padre fans in the house can feel it in your heart. And I won't let go. Something wonderful. San Diego's parties, wonderful is happening to us right here, right now. You online as well. Oh, something wonderful. Oh, something wonderful is happening to you right here, right now. Because all this love's inside of each of you. And you know we gotta let it shine. Something wonderful. Oh, something wonderful is happening to you and you and you and you and you right here and now. Something wonderful. Oh yeah. Something wonderful. It's happening. It's happening. Can't you feel it? It's happening now. Something wonderful.
That was Gino Walker and our house band Sounds of Spirit. And I'm Kevin Busey, and I welcome you here this morning to Universal Spirit Center. Whether you join us in person or online, glad that you're with us. Just take a deep breath in. Just settle right into your body. Right into your body. Just feel the life force, the energy, the presence of God right where you are. So a special welcome to you. Join us for the first time. We're glad that you're with us. Love to meet you afterwards. And if you're online, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time online, we're glad that you're joining us this morning. So I want to acknowledge these beautiful flowers. Aren't they great? And they're in honor of Frederick and Joan. Would you stand? Stand. 22 years married. "22 years and never a fight," right? Right. Yeah, that's it. That's a story, and that's what we're sticking with. So also, I just got to acknowledge we had an awesome blues concert and Southern-style barbecue last night. For those of you there, we had a great time. Gina was our major blues, our blues singer last night. We had a great band. And setup folks were, you want me to move to, okay, moving mics. Setup folks were, Bob, would you stand? Lee, who doesn't seem to be in the room. And then who else was setup? Who's ever set up, stand. Jessica, great, thank you. There's a lot to set up, And then the cooks, Carolyn and Al. Wow. They did a Southern-style barbecue for 50 people. So 50 people. Really awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, and one final appreciation for those of you who gave to our matching fund. For those of you who don't know what I'm addressing, a couple months ago, a generous donor said she would give up to $10,000 if we matched, the congregation matched that. So the congregation came up with $10,821. So thank you. That really helps us in our, in our little bump during COVID to kind of get back on our feet. So thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your generosity. So I'm going to have Viraj come up now. Viraj is our Spirit in Action chairperson and is going to invite you in a couple events.
Thank you, Reverend Kevin. Good morning. I wanted to let you know a little bit about Spirit in Action. It's one of the many ways that we can be a transformative presence in the world, taking our spiritual path and putting it into action in the community and in other places across the globe. Raise your hand if you've been involved with the Feeding the Homeless or, wow, this is great. So we are having another meeting to talk about the areas in our community that we might be able to reach into. That's happening on Zoom this coming Wednesday. If you go to the website, we have a link for the community Zoom room. It's from 5 to 5:30. If you cannot make it, or if you want more information, I'll be at the Yes table after service to get your contact information and to keep you updated with the variety of opportunities that we have. And we have another opportunity coming up. October 25th is another chance to come downtown to PATH, People Assisting the Homeless. They're an awesome, awesome group, and we actually have somebody in our community that's very involved as one of their employees. So anyway, we will be going. We're looking for volunteers from 5 to 7. We go down. Many times Reverend Kevin joins us. We make sandwiches. We've made hundreds of sandwiches, prepare meals, and serve it now to the guests that are staying at the downtown facility. So I hope that you join us. If you want more information, again, I will be at the Yes table. And I hope to see some people on Zoom next Wednesday at 5. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Bob Mosai. I have your announcements for today. Before I start, for those of you, especially online, if you have any questions about what I'm going to tell you, go ahead and please email us at lee@universalspiritcenter.org. Sages. Our Sages is having an outing at Seaport Village on Wednesday, October 26th at 11 a.m. Our Sages is for seniors, and we're going to visit some of the shops at Seaport Village. Gayleen Nichols is here. Stand up. She's gonna give us a tour of her boutique, and then we'll dine at a restaurant. So if you're interested, sign up at the Yes table, or if you're online, go to lee@universalspiritcenter.org. A book study, an animal book study discussion with Reverend Sherry. It's not too late. Tuesday nights on Zoom. Again, lee@universalspiritcenter.org if you need information. Racial Equality Project, our call to action. We're planning a day in November to explore our amazing Hispanic culture together. If you're interested in taking a field trip on a trolley tour to a new exhibit near the border, it's called Our Ancestors' Dream, Life Between Three Worlds. See interested lists at the Yes table, or sign up on the Racial Equality tab on our website. So just as a reminder, Racial Equality Project meets every second and fourth Tuesday of the month in our community online Zoom room. Go to our webpage, that's at 4 o'clock. Everyone is welcome. And please come say hi to Pat Anders. If you'll stand up, she's going to be at the table outside after our gathering. So let's take a moment here as we go into our day of history. On October 8th, 1953, in Birmingham, Alabama, it was announced that a planned all-star baseball game organized by Jackie Robinson, almost a decade after he integrated Major League Baseball, would not be permitted to play in the city. 10 days before the game was to take place, authorities notified the public that the event would be banned if white players were going to play because, and I quote, there is a city ordinance that forbids mixed athletic events, end quote. To overcome racial inequality, we must confront our history. We all are part of our history. Awakening Wednesday, part 2 of What is the Meaning of Inclusion and Diversity? We will explore what inclusion means and how to implement it. Join Gino online only at 6:30 on Wednesday. Halloween Bingo, October 28th, which is a Friday night. It's a Fun'em event. Get your Fun'em tickets online at the events tab, and then sign up at the Yes table if you're here with us today, or if you're online, again, contact Lee at universalspiritcenter.org. So I was gonna tell a joke today, of course, and I was going through some jokes, and it reminded of a joke that my dad always used to tell. So here it goes. Why do cemeteries always have fences around them? Because people are dying to get in.
Some traditions die hard. Bob's joke is one of them. So would you stand, Viraj? I want to give a plug to have you see Viraj afterwards and enroll in what she's offering, which is how we can better serve San Diego. That's really what we're doing. So please brainstorm with her. How can we better serve San Diego? As well as I invite you to PATH with us. It's a great experience. It's downtown. It's fun to interact not only with the other volunteers, but also with the people who stay at that facility. So I'm going to invite you all to stand. I'm going to invite you to turn around, and right under the clock, there's a camera there, which over 100 people are watching us online. So thanks for joining us online. Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time you're watching us. Thanks for being a part of us. So stay standing and welcome each other to Universal Spirit Center.
Everyone would get that one last hug and make their way back to their seats. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hunter Tallman. I'm one of your licensed prayer practitioners here. One last announcement is there is in-person affirmative prayer immediately after this gathering down at the end of that hall. We also have a table to submit a written prayer request if you like. I'm here to lead us in our time of meditation and some prayer and a reading. So why don't we all just take a deep breath in, allowing the exhale to really root us to this present moment. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and rooting down. In today's reading, before we begin our time of meditation, Buddha told his followers that whatever they chose to give their attention, their love, their appreciation, their listening, and their affirmation to would grow in their life and in their world. how good it is to know. How good it is to know the stillness of this moment. How good it is to know the peace present deep inside of each and every one of us. But also how good it is to know the power and the presence. How good it is to know God. I know that awareness, I know that knowing, I know that presence is felt right here, right now. Moving through each and every single one of us here in this space, watching online, passing by the front door. I know it is here for us. I know it is by us. I know it is through us. How good it is to know the power, the ability to choose, direct our attention, to create, to know newness. Again, how good it is to know God. It is this perfect balance of peace and power that flows through this room. It flows through the words and wisdom of Reverend Kevin, through the songs and sounds of Gino Walker and the Sounds of Spirit Band. It moves through all the volunteers that made this gathering possible, the knowingness of peace and power possible. And it moves through all of you. A knowingness of good, a knowingness of power, a knowingness of love, a knowingness of God.
Words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more you can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we aim for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? They say it's very hard to life you once knew. Until you give your love, there's nothing more we can do. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom, the lessons we learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean?
So impressive, especially when you consider her giving a blues concert last night. Wow. Thank you, Gina Walker. So I want to read this reading again that Hunter read earlier, because it points to the fundamental principle or law in spirituality. So here's what Hunter read earlier. Buddha told his followers that whatever they choose to give their attention to, their love, their appreciation, their listening, and their affirmation would grow in their life. Pretty simple. Whatever we give our attention to, it grows. You know, that's a fundamental principle in spirituality, because it says we are creators of our reality. You know, life doesn't happen to us. It can happen to us if we play that kind of victim role. Then that grows. But if you and I partner with consciousness, partner with a higher way of creating, of looking things, a higher vibration, then we reflect that in our lives. You know, we could have a feeling, God, life is just done to us, you know, and play the victim. We could be empowered and take kind of control and responsibility for our lives. We could surrender and let something greater, experience of love, move through us. And here's the thing, we're a choice. We're a choice. So that which we give our attention to increases in our lives. So do not give your attention to my raspy voice. My voice is changing. You would think I was the one that gave that blues concert last night with a... So this month, we're bringing our awareness, our focus, our higher consciousness to our experience of finances. You know, maybe like many of you, for me, growing up in church, the only time money was talked about in church was when they wanted it. It's the only time. And we'll want your money, and we'll talk about that later. But to bring a higher consciousness to money is a powerful thing, because what it does is it creates a healthy relationship with money. What it does is it empowers us to experience a supportive relationship with money, where money supports our life. We partner with it in a way that supports us, as opposed to playing out a victimhood, struggle, I don't have enough. So that's what we're talking about this month. Basically, here's what we're talking about. Cleaning up our relationship with money. Bringing a higher consciousness to our experience with money. We're using the book by Lynn Twist, Soul of Money, which I highly recommend. It's a great book. I know some of you are out there reading it. So the first thing to do to clean a relationship up, and here's the other thing, if you're great in your relationship with money, if you feel like you have a supportive partnership, that's great. Pick another area in your life. Maybe the experience of love, the experience of health, the experience of self-expression in the world. Whatever area that feels kind of imbalanced or out of whack for you, just apply these same principles to that, and you'll see a change in those areas. So first thing to do if we want to clean up a relationship, and we're talking specifically money, but relationship, is getting clear what is not working in our relationship. What's not working? So what's not working in your relationship with money? To get clear on that, to get clear of how do you not want your relationship to be? Get clear about what dysfunction or what imbalance or how you experience an unhealthy relationship with money. Get clear about that, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Lynn Twist, who was the head fundraiser of the international organization Hunger Project, whose purpose was to end world hunger. So she wrote this book. She says it's her experience, and see if this is true for you, that we're born in a culture that believes in the illusion of insufficiency. there's an insufficiency amount of what we want. Money, time, love, support, a good job, whatever it is, health. She says there's a mindset in our culture, an energy that we don't choose, we're just buy into, of insufficiency. How many of you grew up with the message that there's not enough money? Okay, so that right there tells us that we were born into a consciousness or an illusion of insufficiency. And she says this insufficiency is supported by 3 beliefs. And I've talked about these beliefs all month, but it's not going to hurt us to remind us. So there's 3 beliefs that we buy into that keeps our experience of insufficiency happening. The first is there's not enough. There's not enough. By the show of your hands, on some level, that belief is going on. The second is more is better. And I've said this before, but it's absolutely true. How many people think more chocolate is a bad idea? Just more is better. More wine's a bad idea. Well, sometimes that is a bad idea. More is better, and that's just the way it is. Leaves us helpless. That's just the way it is. And she says this is a mindset. It's actually a way that we approach our lives. There's not enough. More is better. That's just the way it is. So whatever area in your life, and we're talking about money now, but whatever area in your life, there's an imbalance, check out and see if the mindset isn't happening. So the first thing we got to do to clean up any past unhealthiness in our relationship or negative energetic patterns is to get clear, how do we play out in our relationship with money? There's not enough. More is better. That's just the way it is. How does this mindset affect our relationship? So check that out. If you want to clean up your relationship with money or anything, check that out. How does that mindset play out in those relationships? The second thing, and we do this whenever I do looking at money through a spiritual lens, I always have people do this. Second thing, get a piece of paper and consider money as a relationship in your life, that money's a person. Because here's the truth. You've had a relationship with money longer than you've probably had a relationship with most people in your life. So if you imagine money being a person, it's easy to kind of say, okay, what's the qualities of this relationship? Do I avoid it? Do I control it? Do I do push-pull? Do I ignore it? Do I abuse it? What characteristics? So I will share 2 of my tendencies in the past have been a push-pull relationship with money. I wanted it, but it was like a necessary evil, right? I wanted it, but not really. And the second thing I did, which played that out, is I ignored money. I tried to ignore it the best I could, which wasn't real helpful. Anyone want to share I know I'm just presenting this to you, but what characteristics of money do you play out? What is a characteristic in your relationship with money? John? Pardon me? Security. So it brings you security. Okay. It's hard to come by. It's hard to come by. Gino, what did you say first, Gather? Struggle, that's right, struggle. Relationship with money is marked with struggle. Who else? Carolyn. Love, hate, push, pull. I love you, but I really hate you, or I hate you, but I really love you. Yeah, who else? No one can relate to that, Hunter. Why'd you share that? So I'm only as worthy as my bank account is high type thing. I only feel good about myself but then how much is high enough, right? What's the number? So good. Yeah, Heidi. Money doesn't love me. What else? Any others? Yeah. Money's kind of dirty. Yeah, dirty / evil, yeah. Anyone else? Yes, Chris. Fear of having too much. Good stuff, guys. You're on the road to healing. It's not good stuff you feel that way. It's good stuff that you're owning it, right? No, this is good. The more honest you could be and uncover these dynamics. Yes, Joan. So what characteristic do you have right now in your relationship with money? Never enough. There's never enough. Yeah. Thank you. Gayleen. I have to work hard or I don't get it. Yeah. Okay, good. We're good. Go home. And not right now, but go home after. And to write down on the list characteristics. Seriously. Now, here's a sobering thought, and I hate to be the one to break this to you. The way we do our relationship with money is the way we do relationships. So consider that. The way we do relationship with money is the way we do relationship. So then the third thing to do is then, well, what behaviors do I engage in around money that keep this kind of dysfunction going? You know, overspend, hoard, like I said earlier, ignore it. But get clear, what specific behaviors do you have that keep this going on? I shared last week that I had, I played out this thing, there's not enough money. That was my, one of my beliefs. And so I just always made sure I had enough debt. And it was it was consciousness, I tell you. Its behavior was secondary. But I played enough, I made enough, I had enough debt to keep myself feeling there's not enough money. And it was consciousness. So do you use debt as a way to play that out? But get specific behaviors, identify what the behaviors are. Those are the third thing. So if you were in a relationship with a person, right, and you identified where you had a mindset that wasn't healthy for the relationship, if you identified characteristics that were happening in the relationship that weren't positive, if you identified behaviors in that relationship that weren't positive, what would be the fourth thing you would do? You'd probably ask forgiveness. You probably would. If you started realizing with your primary relationship or significant partner, you're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm thinking things. There's characteristics here and behaviors that aren't supporting a healthy relationship. You'd apologize. Because what that does is starts to really diffuse the negative patterns. Because we take responsibility. And in the forgiveness process, we release. Powerful thing. So when we're complete with the final song for this gathering, go home and write a letter of forgiveness. I've ignored you. I've taken abuse of you. I realize I have a love-hate relationship going on with you, whatever it is. Powerful stuff. So that's the fourth thing. So here's the fifth thing then. So what would you do if you sent a significant person in your life a letter of forgiveness because you've realized how you've been in the relationship? Fifth thing you do is you talk about how you want the relationship to be. You want it to be loving or self-kindness or mutual respect. So set an intention of how you want your relationship to be. Set an intention of how you want your relationship to be. One of the reasons I really like about talking about money from a spiritual perspective is most of us struggle with it, and it's an excellent place to apply spiritual principles to our experience of money. So what does spiritual principles mean? The first and fundamental spiritual principle. Let me take a sip of my hot licorice water that's supposed to help my throat or my voice. So the first primary spiritual principle, there's a creative, loving intelligence moving through all creation. It happened in the first moment of light, the Big Bang, and it has been continuing on throughout all of time. It's the evolutionary impulse of everything. If you're doubting what I'm saying, go into the experience of nature. Get quiet and observe how all the millions of parts of nature come together to create this perfect balance where there is enough for all beings in that setting and where there's experience of peace and beauty. Humanity did nothing to create it. We're doing a lot to destroy it. But there's a divine, creative, loving intelligence. And when we get to the experience of nature, we feel it. We experience the balance and the beauty and the flow and how everything is working together and every being is served in that environment. And we are the ones with the way we think about things that disrupt that beauty and that flow. I think the second thing to kind of realize is as this creative force is moving through everything, it absolutely is moving through you. If this afternoon you cut your finger with a knife, your body knows how to heal that cut. If you get a cold or the flu, your body knows how to heal it. There's an intelligence, a divine intelligence moving through your life, whether you recognize it or not. And the degree that you and I align with this energy is the degree we get in right, healthy relationship with everything, including money. Everything is first energy. Lower energy creates lower experience. Higher energy creates higher experience. I shared with the first gathering many years ago before I was a minister. I was had a fight with a family member on the phone. It was really a bad fight. Hung up. I was feeling really upset. I was just feeling all that stuff. I thought, I got to just get out of my condo, go for a walk. I grabbed my book, a novel that I was particularly involved in at the time. Remember this so clearly. Took the novel, went a couple blocks, and sat down in a coffee shop, a pretty crowded Starbucks coffee shop. And across the way was someone who I recognized, didn't know real well, but I recognized him. So I did a wave and a smile, as he did. I sat down, I started drinking my coffee and reading my book. That's what I was doing, right? Waved and smiled to him, sat down, reading my book, drinking my coffee. As he leaves, he comes past me, and he comes up to me, and he says, Kevin, are you okay? And I look up, I'm like, yeah, why? And he says, I don't know, your energy seems really shut down. And I thought, that's so interesting. He felt the lack of my energy from across the room. Energy is felt and experienced by us, right? Money reflects our energy. money works for us to the degree we bring high energy to it. Money doesn't work for us to the degree we bring lower energy. So Lynn Twist tells this great story in her book, Soul of Money. She's a fundraiser for an international, organization to stop world hunger. What a small feat that is, right? End world hunger. She's a fundraiser for that. She's responsible for financing that. So there was a particular day she was supposed to, in the evening, go to Harlem because a small church in Harlem asked to meet with her to do a fundraiser, or they wanted to do a fundraiser for this organization. And she's like, oh my gosh, a small church, how many people would there be there in Harlem? Do they have the finances to support what really we're doing? She had that thought. Well, a couple days before that, in the morning, a CFO of a very large international food distribution company called and said they wanted to come by to pick up a donation. And so she had to schedule it the same day. So the morning she started in Chicago to meet with the CFO of this really large distribution company of food, grocery store chain, not feeding the homeless. So, and then that evening she had to fly to Harlem and then meet in the evening for that. So big, long day for her, right? So in the morning she goes to this food distribution place in Chicago, and she's feeling really, really nervous. And she had done a little bit of research on this company and found out that they were involved in a huge scandal. A huge scandal. They had done some bad stuff, and it hit the press. And she had an awareness that they're trying to give this donation to end world hunger as kind of like guilt money. That's how she really was seeing this, guilt money, right? So she goes to this elaborate big building. She goes up. She talked about going up the elevator and got a view of Chicago and goes up to one of the top floors, meets with the CFO, who's all decked out. She says behind his desk is the skyline of Chicago that you could see. A lot of money. So she sits down and she gives her spiel, fundraising spiel. This is what we do. This is what we'll do with your money. Thank you very much. She lays all this out, right? So she got the feeling he was just waiting for her to be done. Just waiting for her to be done, just like some of you are when I talk sometimes. She's waiting. He's waiting. So when she's done, he hands her the check. He stands up and starts showing her the door, and she's like, oh, my gosh, okay. Bye. He doesn't really want to be here, right? Gives her the check. And she just felt so yucky about that interchange and taking this, like, guilt money. She goes downstairs, and she gets out of the building. She looks at how big the check is. It's the biggest check to date in the 70s she ever got, $500,000. It's like, oh my gosh. But she felt really yucky about the interchange, right? So she puts it in her purse. That night she goes to Harlem. She goes to the basement. There's like 10 people there. She's greeted by someone that's hosting her, and she goes up, and the woman says to her, I believe in the flow of money, and God always supports me in my flow of money. So they sit down and start having a discussion of the money, have a discussion of her project, right? She's feeling like these people are really wanting to partner with her to end world hunger. They're enthused, they're asking questions, they're engaged. They're like, yeah, we want to help. And the woman who hosted her says, I don't have much money, but I'll give you what's in my purse. I'll give you what's in my purse because God provides for me. She said in that group of, 15 people, she raised $500. And she thought, isn't that interesting? She puts the $500 next to this $500,000 check that she doesn't feel good about. And she feels so good about this interchange, so good about the connection with these people, so good about these $500 that the next day she emails the check back to the CFO. and says, thank you for this check, but we're looking for partners in the purpose of ending world hunger. Years later, I don't know, I want to say 20, but I don't remember. Years later, she receives a letter from the CFO. And he said, soon after we gave you the check, he says, I retired. And he said, I thought about all the many years I worked with this company and all the many not good things we did to try to get money. He said, we followed no ethics and no principles in our gain of money. And he said, your returning that $500 so affected me, so shifted the way I deal with money, that he says it was a life-changing experience. He included a check that was so much more than $500,000. And that check, she didn't get back. So Lynn Twist met Mother Teresa when Mother Teresa was alive, right? And she toured India and toured some of her Mother Teresa's projects. And they got in a discussion of fundraising, because that's what Lynn Twist did. You know, she thought maybe I could help out Mother Teresa in this. We're just talking about fundraising, right? And so she starts talking about it, and Mother Teresa turns to her and says, I don't have a budget, and I don't have any money, any surplus of money. She was in the moment. She says, God provides what I need. And she says, I've never gone without. Now, I'm not suggesting not having a budget, and I'm not suggesting not having a savings. But listen to her mindset. There's enough. There's enough for what I'm called to do in the world. There's enough. She had that mindset, and that's what happened for her. So Mother Teresa talks about money being energy, and us being conduits or channels, or what's the third word? Channelers of the energy of money. That it flows to us and from us. And she said that's the proper movement or dynamic around money. When she worked with the indigenous people, they never stored or hoarded anything. She said their resources flowed through them to people in the community who needed it. She says it's all about flow. It's all about flow. She says, I don't know if she said this to tell you the truth, or I read it somewhere else, but feelings that get stuck in us cause us to suffer. If our blood gets stagnant, disease develops. If air does not flow through us, we die. Wealth isn't about how much money we have in our checking account. It's about the degree to which we feel there is enough. I have enough. And I am enough. She said, that's where our true wealth comes from. The awareness, there is enough. I have enough. I am enough. That right there is a powerful mindset. So I invite you this week to look at the belief system you have around money, to list the characteristics you play out in your relationship with money, to get clear on what poor behaviors you have around money, to write a letter of forgiveness for money, and to set an intention. Next week, we'll talk about and explore healthy behaviors around money. But for now, I just invite you to pause and explore your relationship with money. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and sit up straight and tall. There's a quote from Lynn Twist that I want to read to you. So take a deep breath. Just let these words kind of move right into your soul. No matter how much or how little money you have flowing through your life, when you direct that flow with soulful purpose, you experience wealth. You feel vibrancy. You feel alive when you use money to represent who you are. When you let money move the things that you care about, your life lightens up. You have an experience that there is enough, that you have enough, and that you are enough. So take a deep, full breath in. And just be aware, Those of you at home watching us, join us. Just be aware that within you is moving a divine energy, a life force, presence, unlimited in its nature. So we breathe into that presence. We breathe into that intelligence, to that life force. We breathe into God's love. We allow it to move through our bodies and out into all of our affairs. We align with the health and the beauty and the balance that this energy brings about.
gonna stand on the mountain top and tell news that you take my breath away. Your beauty is there, and all I see. And when I feel your eyes on me, don't you know you just take my breath away. Oh, this is my life. I will be singing for you eternally. And don't you know you just take my breath away. Oh, it's too good to slip by. It's too good to lose. Too good to be there just to use. I'm gonna stand on my mountain top and tell that you take my breath away. My breath away. You take my breath away. Oh, yeah. My breath away. My breath away. Oh, I know. Wow, I forgot. I was so excited to do Conscious Giving in both gatherings. I forgot. So, when I started my journey with tithing, conscious giving, I had a plan with God. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you this 10%, but before I hit that door, I need to have that money back. This is the deal, right? This is the deal. And so I gave from this space of struggle, from not enough, from we got to hurry up and recycle this. And so I didn't give from joy. And through my time here in the teachings of Centers for Spiritual Living, really learning to enjoy giving. So I was like, okay, I know it's 10%, but that did not feel good to me because I didn't feel I had enough to give that. So I started with 5%. And I felt a joy in giving it where I wasn't challenging God to hurry up and recycle that money back to me. It made me feel that I had plenty, that I was abundant. And once I started to really enjoy giving, there reached a point where I could not imagine not giving. And when I came here as a musical director, I challenged myself every year to up my giving. And for me, I was like, what? I'm giving how much a month? But it's been such a joy because what we do at Universal Spirit Center, how we give back to different communities, how we give in classes that we have here, how we give in supporting expanded consciousness is a really big thing. So I am very grateful to be a part of conscious giving and to share that with you. So put your hand over your heart and say, as I give out, I receive. And as I receive, I'm going to give some more. And I just give thanks and praise. And so it is. Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Come on, let me hear you sing it out. Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Then you turn and say, look at somebody and say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. 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 Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Sing it from your heart. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God. Thank you, everything. I just gotta say thank you.
So I have an announcement. Hold on, I have an announcement for those of you online. I forgot to mention earlier. For those of you who join us online, this Tuesday night at 6:30, we're having a Zoom meeting, and it's a focus group. We want to hear from you what your experience is online, how we could make your experience better online. So 6:30, Tuesday night in our Zoom room. You go to our website, push the tab, click on the tab, Community Zoom Room, and it'll let you into our Zoom room. We really want to hear your feedback. All right. Let's stand. I'm going to invite you to place your hands over your heart as Hunter blesses our gathering and prays us out.
Yes, with your hands on your heart, knowing that you are a channel of creative, divine energy flowing to you and from you. Knowing that not only are you rich enough, not only are you good enough, not only are you happy enough, but you are rich, you are good, you are joy, you are divine. You are. Join me in knowing this is absolute truth together as we say, and so it is.
Let's lift our voices and sing out something wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hey. Here we go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh yeah, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. 'Cause what? Oh, I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart. And wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Yeah. Something wonderful is happening to San Diego. Something wonderful for you Padre fans. To you right here, right now. Oh, you can feel it in your body. Oh, and I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my heart. And I won't let go. Oh, something wonderful. Woo. Oh, home, something wonderful is happening to you and you and you and you and you right here and now. Oh, something wonderful, yeah, something wonderful is happening to me, to you right here and now. Wonderful. I want you to have a fantastic week. Have a joyous day today. Remember, you are shining your beautiful light. So when people say, why are you so happy? Say, I go to Universal Spirit Center and you online. We can feel that energy. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing with your family and friends. Something wonderful. Something wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is happening to us right now. Yeah. Something wonderful. Something you know it's happening right now. I love you, Universal Spirit Center. Woo!